But moving on to my first takeaway, we got to keep tabs on the Carolina Panthers. This is a team that we could all see as a surprise team out of the NFC. This is a team that could honestly push the Bucks. Just looking at their schedule, they got Houston this week. I think it's going to be a win. You got Dallas next week, Philly, Minnesota, the Giants, Falcons. Those are all winnable games.
Games, yep. Yep.
So they could easily start 7, 8-1, with Dallas mainly being the one loss that I could potentially see because it's in Dallas. But look, it's a pretty easy schedule: the AFC East and the NFC East. And even in their division, they've proven they can beat the Saints. They can definitely beat the Falcons. They could honestly put up a good fight against the Bucks. I truly think that. So with the Panthers, I think they're definitely. I know a lot of people have been talking about if the Panthers, the Raiders, and the Broncos are for real. Of those three teams, I am the most all in on the Panthers, and that is the one team that I'm buying stock for the most out of those three. And out of those three, I'd say the Broncos I have the least stock in just because of the teams they've played, and especially with Josie Jewell being out. Bradley Chubb is out for a significant amount of time. Judy's already out. Let's see how that's going to affect them. But look, the Panthers are looking solid. I think Sam Darnold has found something with Joe Brady, a good connection there. He's got weapons. He already had that pre-established connection with Robbie Anderson, like what he's doing with DJ Moore. CMC is CMC. So I really like the Panthers this year, and this is definitely a team that we want to keep tabs on.
Yeah, I know Anish is going to – no. I know what you're going to say, too.
Ahead.
Dude, the Panthers were my sleeper team in the NFC.
They were. I made a video in March about it. Yes, they
I like how Anish says that, even though he's the most avid Darnold hater on our channel.
No, it pained me when Darnold went. Remember, I made the whole quarterback video of who I wanted. It pained me, but I told you, I said Darnold would still be good enough to get this Panthers team to a playoff push. But yeah, you go ahead. You can go ahead. I'll finish.
I just want to say, I really want to touch on the defense because, I'll let you say all the good things about Sam Darnold because I know that'll hurt you more than it hurts me. But the defense has been absolutely tremendous. And we mentioned kind of all of last year how they have just so many young, talented pieces at every level of the defense. And it just was a matter of time until they put it together. And there were the games last year, little flashes of when they would put it together for a quarter, a drive, or even an entire game. They were one of the most unstoppable units in the NFL. And this year, all of those pieces have just been perfectly utilized through the first 2 weeks. The coaching staff in Carolina is right now, I think, performing the best out of, I would say, any coaching staff in the league. They've got pieces on defense, pieces on offense, and they're utilizing them to the best of their abilities. Sam Darnold has really made like one mistake through 2 weeks of football. And there probably weren't a stretch of 2 weeks last year under Adam Gase and with the Jets where you could say that about Sam Darnold. So I think if he can play mistake-free football like he has been, and this Panthers defense can stay away from injury, I really think this Panthers team will be in the playoffs. I think I can solidly say that. And you're right, Strigar, they could push some of the big dogs in the NFC, like the Seahawks or the Bucks, the Rams or the Packers. What I want to see them, though, play against a true veteran quarterback and like a true veteran team, because the Saints had Jameis Winston, the Jets obviously had Zach Wilson. I want to see them go against a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers or even guys who have played in this league but aren't considered to be as good like Derek Carr. I want to see them go against someone like that who can maybe scheme the protection towards some of the free runners or who can take advantage of the secondary, because the secondary is one of the pieces that hasn't quite figured it out this season. Like the receivers are still getting open. It's just a matter of quarterbacks not having time. But honestly, I'm super excited for what the Panthers have been doing. Proud of what Sam Darnold's been doing. I just hope that they can sustain it. If they do, they're a real dangerous team.
Here's what I'll say with the Panthers and the reason why I put stock into them. Here's what they remind me of. And when I say this, I think it's going to bring a bell in your guys' ears too. They remind me of the 2019 Dolphins transitioning into 2020. And here's why. Up and coming defense, good coaching staff that I believed in, right? Every loss that they had in 2020 was by a possession or less. It was 9 of their 11 losses were by 8 points or less. So this was a team that had promise all year. And the 2 games that I was really impressed with last year was against Arizona and LA, 2 games that they shouldn't have won, but they did because of their defense. So, and as Jack pointed out, those were examples of the flashes that we all saw and we all agreed on. And I think coming into this year, again, another year with the coaching staff, a quarterback who at least has some experience and I feel like has more potential than Teddy Bridgewater, which is Sam Darnold. It's clear and obvious. I mean, there was a reason why he was a top 5 pick. And I think, his mechanics with someone like Joe Brady, who helped Joe Burrow blossom into the QB he was, right? Also with Matt Rule, an offensive minded head coach. Look how much that's benefited him. I think it's been really good for him. Offense has a lot of weapons that I'm high on every single one of those pieces, right? Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, CMC, obviously, who cannot be? And I think it's just so much of a better run organization than what he was at with New York. So that's why I think for him, at least, it's a lot better of a transition. And I think with the Panthers defense, I would disagree. I think the secondary is taking a lot of strides. You're right. They're a little hit and miss, but I think Dante Jackson and JC Horn have all the potential in the world.
Jeremy Chin too.
Yep. Jeremy Chin. So I would say the Panthers, like, that's why I had to take it down because Streaker already mentioned it. But Panthers playoff push. I mean, I've kind of hammered down that button, and I think it's something that we should all put our stock into. I will say this one thing. It's not even a pessimistic thing. It's just Jack kind of took it by the nail. I would just say, they're a bit inexperienced, which is why I don't know if they can hang with them, with those top tier contenders. But you're right. I would love to see him, week 4 against Dallas. That's a huge testament, right? How are they going to face or fare against Dak Prescott with that receiving core, and that loaded offense? So that's a really good testament that I'm going to see. Brian Burns, what if Zach Martin still has to play right tackle? That's going to be a really, really tough matchup for him. So I'm excited to see something like that. So that's my takeaway on the Panthers.